Can you imagine waking up one morning in June, ready for a warm summer day, only to see snow falling from the sky? It sounds like a scene from a disaster movie, but this really happened. In 1816, parts of the Northern Hemisphere experienced a bizarre and devastating phenomenon known as the year without a summer. People in New England woke up to frost in July and snow in August. Crops failed, livestock perished, and the price of grain skyrocketed, leading to widespread famine and social unrest across Europe and North America. So, what could cause such a global catastrophe? The answer lies halfway around the world, on a remote island in Indonesia, where a year earlier, the largest volcanic eruption in recorded history had just taken place. This is the story of Mount Tambora, a volcano whose colossal explosion in 1815 plunged the world into a multi-year climate crisis. The eruption was so powerful, it was heard over 1,600 miles away. It ejected an enormous amount of ash, gas, and rock into the atmosphere. We're talking about an estimated 150 cubic kilometers of material. To put that into perspective, that's enough to cover the entire state of California in a layer of ash 5 inches deep. The immediate aftermath was apocalyptic for the local population. The kingdoms of Tambora and Pekat were completely wiped off the map, buried under pyroclastic flows. Thousands died instantly, and tens of thousands more perished from the resulting famine and disease that swept across the region. But the local devastation was just the beginning. The real global impact came from the massive cloud of sulfur dioxide that Tambora shot high into the stratosphere. Up there, the gas converted into sulfate aerosols, creating a fine veil that spread across the globe. This veil acted like a giant sunshade, reflecting a significant portion of sunlight back into space, and causing global temperatures to drop by an average of about 1 to 3 degrees Celsius. While that might not sound like a lot, it was enough to completely disrupt weather patterns worldwide. The cooling effect was most pronounced in the Northern Hemisphere, leading to that infamous year without a summer in 1816. Let's dive deeper into what life was like during that strange year. In the United States, particularly New England and the mid-Atlantic states, the summer of 1816 was a period of misery and uncertainty. Farmers planted their crops as usual in the spring, but a series of cold snaps in June, July, and August brought killing frosts that destroyed the young plants. The corn crop was a near-total failure. Hay was scarce, meaning livestock had little to eat. Families who relied on their farms for survival were pushed to the brink. Many were forced to slaughter their animals, sell their land, and migrate westward in search of a better climate and a fresh start. This event actually accelerated the westward expansion of the United States. Across the Atlantic, Europe was in an even worse state. The continent was already struggling to recover from the Napoleonic Wars, and the volcanic winter pushed it over the edge. In Switzerland, the constant rain and cold led to complete crop failure. Desperate, people were reportedly eating cats, rats, and even moss. Food riots broke out in cities across Britain, France, and Germany. The price of oats, a staple food for both people and horses, soared. This made transportation difficult and expensive, further crippling the economy. The crisis was so severe that it triggered one of the last great subsistence crises in the Western world. It was a time of immense suffering, with disease and starvation becoming commonplace. The Tambora eruption didn't just affect the weather and agriculture. It also left a lasting mark on human culture. The dark, gloomy skies and spectacular, vividly colored sunsets, caused by the stratospheric aerosols scattering sunlight, inspired artists and writers. J.M.W. Turner, the famous English painter, is believed to have been influenced by these atmospheric effects, which are reflected in his dramatic, colorful skies. And perhaps most famously, the dreary summer of 1816 led to the creation of one of the most iconic horror stories of all time. While vacationing near Lake Geneva in Switzerland, a group of young English writers, including Lord Byron, Percy Bysshe Shelley, and Mary Godwin, who would soon become Mary Shelley, were trapped indoors by the incessant rain. To pass the time, they decided to have a competition to see who could write the best ghost story. It was during this gloomy, storm-ridden holiday that 18-year-old Mary Shelley conceived the idea for her novel, Frankenstein. In the same house, Lord Byron's personal physician, John Polidori, wrote The Vampire, a story that would later inspire Bram Stoker's Dracula. So, in a strange way, a volcanic eruption in Indonesia gave birth to two of literature's most enduring monsters. Scientists of the time were baffled. They had no idea what was causing the bizarre weather. Some blamed sunspots, others thought it was due to an increase in icebergs, and many believed it was a sign of divine punishment. The connection between the volcanic eruption and the global climate change wasn't made until the 20th century. Today, the Tambora event serves as a crucial case study for climatologists. It's a powerful, real-world example of how volcanic aerosols can impact the global climate system. By studying ice cores from Greenland and Antarctica, scientists can analyze layers of trapped sulfate deposits, which act like a historical record of major volcanic eruptions. The Tambora layer is one of the most significant, providing invaluable data for modern climate models. It helps us understand the potential impacts of not only future large-scale eruptions, but also concepts like geoengineering, where some have proposed artificially injecting aerosols into the stratosphere to combat global warming, a controversial idea with many potential and perhaps unknown side effects. The story of Tambora is a sobering reminder of the interconnectedness of our planet. An event on one side of the world can have profound and far-reaching consequences for people thousands of miles away. It shows us the immense power of nature and our vulnerability to it. It's a story of devastation and loss, but also one of resilience and adaptation. People migrated, innovated, and ultimately survived. And in a twist of fate, the darkness and gloom it created also sparked incredible works of art and literature that continue to captivate us to this day. The year without a summer wasn't just a freak weather event. It was a turning point in history that shaped our world in ways we're still uncovering. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey back in time. It's a fascinating and humbling piece of history, isn't it? If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about the incredible events that have shaped our world, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to ring the notification bell so you won't miss our next deep dive into history. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.